Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Emiko Soltis. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Raymond. I'm the executive director of Freedom University, which is an underground freedom school for undocumented students who've been banned from public higher education in Georgia. The short story of what we do is that we ensure undocumented students' human right to education by providing completely tuition-free college-level classes, college application and scholarship assistance, so that 1 out of the 5 students that comes to Freedom U leaves with a full-ride scholarship to a private college. And finally, movement leadership skills, so students learn the public speaking, the engagement, the community organizing necessary in order to wage an effective campaign against the anti-immigrant legislation and policies affecting undocumented students in Georgia. As executive director, which is a really fancy title for janitor, van driver, all the things that I do, I help ensure that undocumented students are empowered to come out of the shadows in the immigrant rights movement and in many social justice struggles. It is losing the fear that is absolutely most essential in order to fight back. And so that is primarily what I do, is to make sure that there's a safe space where undocumented students can continue to learn despite the hate being waged against them by the state of Georgia and the United States more generally. And so that they also have the knowledge of the human rights framework, which is especially important for the immigrant rights community, to understand that even if rights are taken away from you by either the state or at the national level, you have rights based on your humanity, regardless of what side of a border you were born on, what borders you may cross, that you have the inalienable right to education, the right to vote, the right to participate in your community. And so that's at its core what Freedom University does. Emory alum, I got my PhD there in 2012, and so I've been very involved with the Emory Sanctuary Coalition. EmorySanctuary.com is where a lot of our posts and our demands are listed. But we have defined sanctuary to be 3 things: to welcome undocumented students, to protect them, and to support them once they're at college. To welcome them means to accept undocumented students without discrimination and provide financial aid, since undocumented students have no access to federal financial aid in any form. To protect them means to pledge lawful non-cooperation. What's really important is this is not a pledge to defy the law. In fact, it is a commitment to the rule of law, meaning that if ICE or any federal immigration official is to come onto campus, they need a judicial warrant. It is to protect undocumented students and all students from overreach by the federal government. It is also respecting FERPA and the right to students' privacy and the privacy of their information by their institution. So in fact, it is a commitment to the rule of law, not in defiance of the law, right? And that is the biggest misconception out there, that sanctuaries are just giving the middle finger to the federal government. In a way it is, but by committing to the rule of law, right? And finally, to support students, it's to commit to ensuring that undocumented students have equal access to resources such as legal aid clinics and mental health resources that undocumented students absolutely need once they get to college, right? This is seen as completely radical, right? But what we are actually seeing by the Georgia legislature and by this federal government is normalizing punishing kids, right? Like actually banning kids from school is where we are today. So of course I'm angry. I actually loved that Brenda Lopez said, get involved in politics if you're angry. It's like, hi. Like serious rage. And we should be, right? Because if we take a step back, look at what has become our new normal, right? Which is like punishing kids, going and persecuting them when they're trying to study, right? And it's a threat because we have young immigrants, people of color who are becoming educated, right? That is what the right is afraid of. And so this is just one small part of the immigrant rights movement, but it is building up that new generation of leaders that we so desperately need.